Well, Dan, this week the news kind of sucked.
Yeah, and as a result, we're doing something a bit different this week.
Yeah, this week we're just going to discuss DLC and early access in video games
And we're going to take a few strolls down memory lane.
with many detours.
I'm Dan,
And I am Jeremy.
and this is the Dedicated Server. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dedicated Discussions. This week, me and Jeremy, decided to do something a little bit different.
Yeah,
It's-
we're going to go with the theme episode and talk about Magic the Gathering.
Well, not exactly Magic the Gathering. Pretty much what happened is we looked at the news this week, and we were like, this is crap.
Yeah, not really much happened.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
And
few things, like Microsoft's offering $75 to upgrade to the new Xbox One.
yeah, because they're desperate.
Yeah. But we're like, oh, enough bashing on companies with news stories. Let's move on to something we feel a bit more strongly about.
Yeah, let's bash the entire industry.
Oh, I've realized in the past few weeks just how cynical I am about video games sometimes.
I never noticed that.
So, we're going to talk about what my personal pet peeve about the industry is, and that is the abuse of DLC.
Let me be clear right off the bat. I am not completely against DLC.
Neither am I.
But I think I agree with you that it is becoming a bit of an issue.
Yes, it's being abused. Basically, the line needs to be drawn where a game developer cannot and should not release a game while thinking about DLC.
No. First and foremost, when they're thinking about and creating the game, their first priority should be putting everything that they're thinking of into the game, into the finished product.
Absolutely. You're buying an incomplete product, essentially.
I mean, there was even a news report out this week that, actually a controversy, that people thought GameStop was going to be taking more of the reins during creative process, almost to plan DLC at the earliest stages of development.
Yes, pretty much planning exclusive pre-order gameplay.
And that's just wrong. I can't. But now they're backtracking on that a bit, even though whoever the CEO of GameStop is not a very eloquent speaker.
Not at all. What was that line? Funding, creating, something like that.
It facilitating create great content.
Yes. Yes.
And stuffs and things.
Now that could just be a typo of the transcript, but
It could have. I don't think so.
no. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, he's backtracking and saying, no, what we're doing is we are entering the process, but not on a creative level. We're funding exclusive content, and he was leaning more towards helping out independent creators in what he was saying.
Yeah, I'd be for that. And if you could put the might of a retailer like GameStop behind independent developers, that could be a good thing.
Well, I mean, a lot of companies have been starting to do that. There have been contests or ways to submit game ideas to bigger companies, but the biggest system in place to help independent developers, I would have to say, is Steam Early Access, though.
Yeah, but you don't like early access.
I don't.
And why don't you tell the people why?
Okay.
This is going to be Dan's rant for the week,
Yes,
so sit tight,
this
folks.
is my rant. I'm due one a week.
Don't let your eyes glaze over.
Now, Early Access has created some fantastic gems, i.e., Rust, Space Engineers. Yes, they have their flaws right now, but they're actively getting better as time goes by. That this, I'm going to say, is representing 1%, let's say 3% of early access games I have seen. Now, the other 97% of early access games is rip-off garbage, in my opinion.
Wow.
That's
a pretty strong...
That is a bit strong. But that's my anger coming to the surface. Pretty much all I've seen on early access is one out of three things. Empty promises that you're buying instead of a finished product. Games that never get completed. And games where it's like, oh, hey, let's take this game, add this little new twist on it, and call that our own thing. Do you know how many games similar to Minecraft and Cube World I've seen?
Yeah, but I mean, they've been doing that on consoles for years. When Mario Kart Double Dash came out for GameCube, every licensed property I can think of came out with a kart racer featuring two characters. A Simpsons hit and run. There was a South Park kart game. The list goes on and on. Clones of games are always going to exist.
But aren't you at least buying a finished product then? And saying, this is what it is now, not trying to sell, oh hey, this is a clone of this game, but it could be better than this.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're making a clone, especially off of a licensed property, you're not striving to make a game that's better than the original. You're just looking to make money.
Well, hence those things didn't get bought very often. The problem with early access is it's flooding the market, making it way too easy to make money off of a early concept.
Is that so bad, though? I mean, think about this. If they're making more money off of early access, they can put that money back into development.
Yes.
They also can
that's the idea behind early access, and it is a fantastic, beautiful idea. But so far, the practice hasn't proven it.
I mean, think about the early days of file sharing peer-to-peer, like Napster and Kazaa and all those. They use those as building blocks for what we have now. Maybe this is just growing pains.
It could be. You could be absolutely right. I actually hope you're right. But as of right now, I do not want to buy another game that has early access tagged on it.
Well, what if it comes to consoles? There was a report earlier this week that Sony is considering early access on its PlayStation platforms.
Okay. This is how I feel the only way this could work. I feel like Sony would have to kind of limit it more to the bigger name developers. It can't just be a random person making a game and throwing it on there.
So you're
like
saying
Steam early access. It has to be a credited developer of a
So
game.
you're saying, like, for example, like Ubisoft could put early access for the next Assassin's Creed game up. That's what you prefer to see? Isn't that just going? But I kind of feel like all this early access is just bringing us back to the argument of DLC.
It is.
Isn't this just early DLC?
You're buying the game, and the finished product is the DLC, technically. If you really want to go that way, it's paid alpha testing. You're paying to get into an alpha test. Plain and simple.
Okay. Well, I would have paid to play the Destiny alpha.
I would too, but that's by a big name company. It is at a point where it is almost a finished game. But
well, what games would you want to see early access for then that aren't bigger games? Is there a way that they could appease you without it being a studio like Bungie?
This comes the issue. There is already a system in place on Steam for early access. It's called Steam Greenlight. It's a way for the community to decide whether or not to get these games put on early access.
Okay, so okay, Sony Greenlight's early access.
Mm-hmm.
What if you bought a PlayStation Plus membership, you got to vote on what games got early access?
It's possible. But
and work it into, because let's be honest, if you're buying PlayStation Plus, you're not really a casual gamer.
not at all. I mean, you're a bit more informed about it.
And I mean,
most
let's
likely.
also look at this from that perspective as well. If you're a casual gamer, you're not purchasing early access.
I would have to say yes. You're right about that. I wouldn't be buying early access games. Well, to as many early access games as I have if I was just a casual gamer.
Okay. So you are a consumer of early access, but you are not happy with the product.
No. Right now I am on hiatus from early access. I've only seen 2 games that are so far holding up their promises. And
Which games?
Rust and Space Engineers.
That's it?
Space Engineers every single week is putting up a new update with new content, improving the game, and taking in reactions from the community. Rust, they have an idea of what they want. They are listening, but they're definitely staying their own route most of the time. And yes, it's not moving as fast as Space Engineers, but they are making improvements over time.
Is Space Engineers the game you were screen sharing with me the other day?
Yes.
They have a lot of work to do.
I had it on low graphics, okay? And you hate...
You must have had it on extremely low graphics.
It's not a next-gen game, goddammit.
Next gen or die, Dan.
Hey, I am not into next-gen games yet because my computer would blow up right now.
That's why you go to a console.
Yes, that is the plan. Speaking of next-gen games, I'm going to be super excited for San Diego.
We'll be reporting live. We'll talk about what we're going to be looking at in next week's episode, previewing San Diego Comic-Con, because Dan and I are going.
Yay!
Woo!
And I am the only person covering video games other than Jeremy.
Yay! And I'm also going to be covering Star Wars, so...
Yes, you are too into Star Wars.
No, there's no such thing. Wait. There's no such thing as two into Star Wars. Let's do the rest of the episode talking about what you just said.
Okay.
Two into Star Wars?
I grew up mostly with Star Trek. I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I don't want to start a war. And you know what? I will admit Star Wars can kick Star Trek's ass if it came down to an actual battle. But
to quote fanboys, we don't sling Trek around here.
I could actually get into detailed discussion about the power generation of Star Wars and how it dwarves Star Trek. But it's just, I like the...
Name me a good Star Trek video game right now.
Video game?
Yeah.
No. Oh, wait, Star Trek Bridge Commando.
I would rather poke my own eyes out than play that game.
Okay, Star Trek Armada 2.
No. I don't think they've ever made a good Star Trek game.
I was a big Armada fan growing up.
I played it. I didn't enjoy myself really. I was like, well, I could be playing.
It was flawed. It was flawed, but as far as Star Trek games go, it was good.
All right, I have one last question for you before we go, Dan.
Yes.
I was thinking about this earlier today. What would you say is your definitive PC gaming moment?
Moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
The moment where everything converged and this is it. I am Dan. I am a PC gamer. This is my moment.
Okay, that is actually a really weird question because I started out mostly as a console gamer.
We miss you.
Because I didn't have a computer that could run any type of video game. There wasn't any good PC games. It was all consoles to start with. Let's see. It's kind of sad, but probably RuneScape.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on it now, like, that was my first major PC game because it was my first MMO. That's why. There weren't MMOs available on consoles, and that is why I started playing PC games.
Okay. Would you like to know mine?
Let me guess, when you first picked up your controller?
No, I actually have a PC gaming moment.
Okay.
Would you like to hear it?
Go ahead.
It was the first time I let my ex-girlfriend die of dysentery on Oregon Trail.
Ooh. Ooh. Going really old school there.
I have never played a better PC game than Oregon Trail, and I'll leave it at that.
I'll have to say this. Last week, I actually looked up for a version of the old Oregon Trail to play.
My fiance, we bought one at Half Price Books for 50 cents, and me and my fiance trade it back and forth and play it. It's fantastic.
That is one of the few games I would go back and play.
Maybe we can set up an Oregon Trail tournament with the listeners one of these days.
That would be...
We'll import you into our Oregon Trail games and see if you survive.
No, that's what. We can hold a contest, and, and they will be on our cart.
That sounds good, yeah. And we'll run it. And if we get to the end, we'll give them a prize.
Woohoo! All 200 viewers and 47 subscribers.
Woo! We're growing.
Anyway, let us know what you think about that, guys. I mean, the comment section is always down there.
Don't forget to click like on our Facebook page.
Or hit our subscribe annotation, which has popped up many times throughout this video, I'm sure.
Yeah, not going to be a lot of footage in this one, I don't think.
No. Unfortunately, we're mostly getting ready for San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, and we'll preview that in next week's episode.
Yes. Next week will probably be just mostly that, a preview episode.
All right, and until then, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Dan.
And this is the Dedicated Server.